everyone. Welcome back to the Wild Thoughts podcast. Today, we're doing an exciting comedy episode. I know you guys have been waiting for this. We're doing Reddit submissions and we're going over topics about Am I the Red Flag? So, you already know how this goes. We tell the story, we give our reactions, and yeah,
it's all good.
It's a fun time.
Good time. I love that. I love this intro you did today.
Oh, thanks.
Spot on.
I'm loopy.
We should be more loopy then. No, we're always loopy.
Always. But we forgot in the last 2 episodes, but we're going to do the high of the week.
Yes. We need to name like 5 to make. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God, imagine.
I don't know if there's that many highs.
I can't even think right now.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Yes, I will go. So I think my high of the week is that I ended up hanging out with 2 of my good friends after work. We did the paint night event where
So cute.
Yeah, it's so fun. We had done that too once. So it was my second time doing it. And there's basically someone that like kind of like hosts and teaches you every step. And there's a certain painting that you kind of recreate. You can change the colors or anything like that. It was nice to do something during the week, I felt like, because last few weeks I feel like I'm just like going to work and chilling at home, and I don't have much energy to do stuff after work. So it was nice to just like get out of the house and stuff. So yeah, that was nice.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
For me, I went out for lunch with my coworkers, and it was on the day that like it really felt like spring. Like it was almost 10 degrees. I think it was Wednesday. And we went to the Asian supermarket that's right near our work.
Yes.
And we were just having a field day. I ordered so much food.
They have like a counter.
Yeah, so you can go and there's like a buffet. There's sushi. There's ramen. There's like buns. Amazing food, Afi. Like we literally need to go just for that. And like the supermarket is huge, and there's like these like so many Asian snacks and drinks and like foods that you can buy. Like it's actually really good. But it was just like it was nice just to get out, and like we walked there, so it was like we were enjoying the weather.
Is it far, the walk? Like
no, it's like on our street. It's the end of the street basically.
Okay, so it's a couple minutes, 10 minutes.
No, I want to say like 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah,
okay, that's good nice. Though. Yeah.
But it was so fun. We just like chilled. We stayed there a little longer than we should have, I will say. But I was like, we're out for lunch.
When you're at the office, your lunches can be a bit extended.
Time doesn't exist.
It literally, like I remember at the internship, we would book like whole ass lunches because we were in the Mile End in like pub bars, and they bring out you like burgers and like food, you know? It's not like fast food. And I'm like, oh my God, how are you doing this at lunch right now? But like,
I know. Yeah. That's why like when like I brought it up that morning. So I was like, guys, I'm really craving Asian food. Should we go? And I just to see like, because if people have a meeting like right after lunch, then like obviously they might not come. But like one of my coworkers, she had a meeting right when lunch ended. She still came, and then she left early type of thing. So it was fine. But it was super nice.
Oh my God, I love that for you. That sounds like an adventure.
It was. Let's get into the first story. Do you want to go first?
Okay, yes. I will read my story first.
Why did I read my story?
That's when you know the brain's not
tired,
working.
Guys.
I literally have to repeat to myself what I'm doing so that I can do it. I'll start with the first story. So the title is basically, is this a red flag or am I the red flag? So very aligned with what our topic is, obviously.
Great way to start.
Great way. We love. So it starts like this. So I, 31 male, started seeing this guy, 25 male, a few months ago. He's a graduate student working 2 jobs while I'm just finishing my first year at my new job. I find him extremely attractive. We share a lot of hobbies and interests, and the physical compatibility is there as well. He's also genuine, honest, and forthcoming, all things that make me like him more. We love.
That's good.
On our first date, he let me know that he was still talking to other people and going on dates. After about 2 months or so, he told me that I'm now the only person he's seeing and that he potentially sees a future with me. I felt the same way and I told him so. The issue, with 2 dots. Early on, he let me know that his availability would be limited since he has school and work. I understand this as I was in a similar scenario in college and grad school myself. Dates would get rescheduled regularly, and on average, we would hang out about once every 2 weeks, which again, I was fine with because I knew it was temporary. He assured me that once the semester ended in mid-May, he would have more time. The issue is that since the semester ended, he has actually taken on more work at his other jobs, keeping him busy and adding to his stress. Adding to his stress. Additionally, he's been very infrequent with communications, sometimes taking days to respond to texts. I understand being busy and under stress, but sometimes I feel like some effort should be put in if he wants this to work. Why it might be me, colon. I moved to the area about a year ago for my new job, so my social circle is still growing. I have a tendency not to reach out to older friends I don't see often. Brackets, out of sight, out of mind, close brackets. So I end up with these artificial feelings of loneliness a lot. I also tend to go all in when dating someone, which I know can be kind of off-putting to some. I also have a thing with someone not returning my texts, as almost every guy I've dated that has ended things like that, brackets not replying for a day or two, then breaking things off. Finally, I've only been in one serious long-term relationship that wasn't the best for either of us mentally. He suffered from depression and suicidal ideation and focused on me/the relationship instead of himself. And I felt obligated to stay in the relationship to help him through, but I wasn't getting my needs met. That's like related to what we talked about last time. So what do you think, bros? Got it?
That's why I'm laughing, sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Got any advice that can help? Were any of you in similar scenarios, and how did you deal with it?
What do you think, bros?
Oh my god. Wait, is this from a male or female? Oh, so male. Okay,
yeah,
so
2 males. This is tricky, I think. I don't think either one of them are red flags.
I know. Yeah, it's hard. I think I like skimmed through it when I first saw it, and I was like, is this the right thing that I'm looking at? Because it seems like they're already very empathetic of the partner. Like the way they're describing the situation, they're not like, you know how sometimes you read stories and they're already like bashing them in the story. So you create a bias in your head. Yeah. Like I wouldn't say they're red. I know what they're saying. Like, oh, am I in the wrong? Or is my partner maybe like in the wrong? Like whose feelings are correct? And sometimes that's hard because it's not white and black. Nobody's necessarily correct or not correct, you know?
Yeah. I think the issue is that you're overthinking. I like 100% this person is overthinking. And I think the partner that is super busy with work and stuff, I think he might just not be in a time in his life where a relationship can happen, because maybe he just got out of college or whatever, or school.
Yeah.
So he's taking on these new jobs because he's trying to get in the workforce. So he's focusing on that. I don't think it's a you problem necessarily to the person that submitted this.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a timing thing. And I know people are going to say like, oh, if he wanted to, he would make the time. But at the same time,
there's a limit.
There's a limit. And if you're trying to focus on your career and stuff, maybe it's not necessarily the time for a relationship.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, because even he said the person who wrote this is 31 male and the person he's seeing is 25 male. So there is a bit of an age difference.
Yeah,
so
okay,
maybe he's point. Like very early on in his career that he's trying to prove himself, you know? Whereas the other person, maybe they said that they related to it because when they were in college or whatever. So they're kind of more settled in, and now that their career, maybe I'm just assuming, is more stable, they can focus on a relationship.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you know, and the other person is younger, so it's like more of a priority, I feel like, but they still maybe want like that love and companionship. But I think the needs are different. Like the 100%. 31 male needs maybe more commitment and more like time.
Yeah.
Because they already like went through that phase. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like,
and like, you know how guys are like, just like the timing and age range is always an issue, because like the maturity levels are so drastically different. And I think
true.
it's what did we say? Like, I think at 24 is when men like actually mature.
Their brain cell.
Yeah, literally they actually like start to become an adult. So I think the age 100% is probably
like they're
issue.
more developed. Like 31 male is 100%. More. Yeah, he also maybe has more experience and stuff. Just assuming like based on like age and stuff.
And I wouldn't consider you having feelings a red flag, because I know the person was saying like, I'm very all in, so maybe that's scaring him.
Oh yeah,
but, like,
I don't think that's
I don't
a red
think
flag.
you should. Yeah, I don't think you should feel bad about having feelings and actually like expressing them.
Exactly.
I don't think that's a red flag at all. I think maybe for the 25-year-old, maybe like if they haven't been in a relationship, or like it's something fresh, and like they're also trying to juggle their career and school life, like that could be a lot. So maybe that's why he's kind of pulling back.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put yourself down because of the way the other person is reacting.
Yeah, same. I don't think you're the red flag, but I will point something out, not necessarily about the 31 male, but like maybe the 25 male is not ready yet, because he said mid-May, when every school's done, I'm gonna give us more time. But then they take on more work. I feel like that's almost like trying to avoid the other person, because I feel like there is some truth that if he wanted to, he would.
Yeah.
He could have prioritized, and I get it, but it's like clearly he wants one more than the other, maybe, or he feels some certain pressure to do the other more than one, in a way, because he decided to take on more work, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost like procrastinating, because you don't want to deal with the like.
Yeah, it could be either or. It could be like he actually is like getting scared and like, I'm trying to avoid you, or he's like, no, I'm focusing on my work right now, and like this is my priority.
Yeah, and maybe he doesn't want to give up on the relationship, like, even though,
and like technically they're not official yet,
right?
So are you gonna like
true?
Are you gonna not focus on your career with someone you're not official with?
Yeah, but he did say he's the only person he's seeing now, so he seems pretty serious.
I know, but I'm just trying to,
he was dating around, though, I guess, based on like,
and he's 25.
You know, 1 year after your brains develop, like, it's not much. Yeah, I feel like this is hard. I think you should definitely speak to your partner, or I don't know,
the guy you're saying.
Yeah, the guy you're yeah, it's not, I guess, not officially your partner, but about how you're feeling and how you can move forward, because if you don't talk about it, like, it's just gonna float in the air. You're gonna be guessing, like, what's happening. And I don't think this is real. Like, I feel like the way this person wrote it is very healthy, almost. Like, they literally were so 31. Organized. Yeah, literally. Like,
they're mature.
Yeah, mature. And like, you wrote the issue, why it might be me. I love it. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry, but I love it.
But final thoughts, I don't think either one is a red flag.
Yeah, just communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate, bro.
Yeah, bro. Okay. Let me get into mine.
Yes.
So the title is My 20 Female Boyfriend 24 Male Says I'm a Red Flag Because of My Boundaries. Oh, let's get into this.
Oh, this one. I like, this is gonna relate. Oh God.
Okay, hold on.
I already saw boundaries and I was like,
okay. All right. I'm insecure and I openly admit that, but when it comes to respect in social media, I feel very strongly. I feel disrespected when my boyfriend of 1 year goes around liking pictures of half-naked girls on Instagram or follows girls who post suggestive content. I also feel disrespected when he likes the pictures of the girls who he's been physically intimate with while being in a committed relationship with me. What? Oh, wait. Okay. No. Okay, wait.
He has been in
he
the
has
past,
been,
and he likes
but
their stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Sorry. I read that as like he's currently cheating on me.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah.
These things just make me feel really upset, and I just feel even worse about myself. I voiced these things to him, and after long arguments and discussions, after a few months of being together, I'd managed to convince him to unfollow/unfriend girls who he slept with before me, who he still followed/had added as a friend. For clarity, I don't even follow boys who I've kissed in the past. That was all caps.
Yeah.
I've seen so many. That was a weird laugh. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
That was so weird. Okay.
No.
I've seen so many other girls my age feel insecure about their boyfriends liking other girls' suggestive photos, following them, commenting, or even just looking, etc. Yet I feel like equally as many girls or people in general view it as being too insecure or controlling. Recently, I saw my boyfriend followed a private profile of a woman who had a suggestive profile picture on Instagram. I asked him who she was and why he followed. He told me she's a fitness influencer. In brackets, my boyfriend is into fitness and I encourage that. And that she posts good advice on her page. So I followed that page only to get accepted weeks later and see that there is only ass pics of her with no fitness advice in sight.
Oh God, I'm sorry, that's gross.
Man. I confronted him about this and he called me a stalker and said he never actually checked her page and that he just read on a different site that she gives good advice. Okay, gaslighter.
He's lying.
Gaslighter.
He's lying so hard right now.
God.
I'm sorry, he is lying. What blog did you read this on? What the fuck?
He then unfollowed her private account only to, out of anger, as stated by him himself, follow her main public fitness page, which had equally as many inappropriate photos in lingerie and barely any advice. In the end, it was still me apologizing for in quotes, stalking him and making a big deal out of it. This is rough.
Whoa.
I feel like I'm at my wit's end. Tonight, he brought up a Facebook post someone made about boyfriends liking other girls' photos on social media, and majority of the comments there were basically telling men to leave their girlfriend if they're that insecure or that crazy, and saying it's a red flag. Maybe it's just my age or the fact that this is my first relationship and the first man I've willingly slept with.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry about that. While I'm far from his first, but I honestly feel physically ill when I see him looking at provocative posts or liking them or following girls who post that sort of content. He also keeps telling me I need to seek help for it and refers to it as a mental illness from time to time.
Toxic. Like, he needs to, what?
my God.
How are you identify? Who are you? Are you a doctor that's making it a scientist? Okay.
Oh my God. Or just calls me crazy to my face. It's making me honestly question my sanity. My parents don't believe in therapy. My mom doesn't even believe that ADHD is real. And while the allowance they give me is enough for some limited therapy, I, for some reason, feel horrible about spending their money that they gave me as an allowance on something they explicitly tell me not to do. And I don't have the mental headspace nor time to work somewhere. And it's particularly difficult in my situation because I just moved to a different country for university. He also told me today that I'm being controlling and that he can do whatever he wants, and that now he's going to look at girls like that on social media whenever he feels like it, and that he'll start watching porn again. In brackets, which I never forbade him, he decided on his own that the dopamine was unhealthy and that he would stop. And I feel like he's saying/doing this just to spite me, and it's mentally pushing me to the edge. Am I really ill? What do I do about therapy? Am I being controlling? Am I displaying red flags? Are my feelings just personal boundaries, or are they obscure and shouldn't exist? Often I wish I didn't care, and to be honest, when we first started talking, he told me a lot of details about his past endeavors, and it didn't faze me in the slightest because I didn't have romantic feelings for him at that point.
I love that she said endeavors.
I know. But now that I love him and see him as a serious partner for life, I feel strongly about these things. He's also told me his ex would ask him to unfollow this one girl who he'd been physically intimate with, and he didn't because he didn't love her enough. I mentioned this to him because I was trying to explain how it feels when he starts treating me in a similar manner, and his response was just that I'm trying to manipulate him. Am I just a horrible person/partner who's controlling and manipulative and crazy? Should I just stop caring? And if so, how can I? I feel like I have no one else to talk to about this.
Oh my God.
That was a lot.
Do you want to go ahead and...
I need a breath.
Okay. I will answer who's the red flag. It's definitely not you. It's
Period.
your partner and possibly your parents in a way. Not parents do their best. I get it, but like it seems like they're making you feel guilty for a lot of things in a way, and maybe you don't have that support given that like they don't, believe in ADHD and they make you feel guilty for spending the money, or you feel guilty. But your partner is definitely the issue. He's a gaslighter. He's a gross
manipulator.
Yeah, he's gross. Like the porn thing, whatever, like I get it, like it's it just grossed me out because it's morning. But like whatever, but like looking at like, well, also like some people have limits. If you're in a relationship and you're watching like sexual content online, for some people that's like a no, but whatever, like that's something else. But I feel like all the liking, all these like...
And doing it out of spite.
And then like, being like, comparing it to like something, another relationship in the past. And then being like, I'm going to do whatever I want. Whoa. Like, I think that you should leave that. But I understand if you've been in a relationship with them for a long time, that's not like the easiest. Like, yes, I can say that, but it's hard to do. I think you should definitely, if you can, go to counseling and therapy, like individual first, just to like feel better, have professional help. Because it's someone else's social media profile. It's hard to control what they're going to do with it, like you can't like be like, okay, you're not going on Instagram anymore, and you don't want to do that in a relationship.
But it's also about respect, because if you're vocalizing your boundaries and they're not respecting it and calling you crazy for it, like
100%. Like,
why are you with this person?
No, exactly. Like they're literally manipulating you, if anything, not the other way around.
Yeah, and I would just like to point out he's a 24 male.
Yeah, wait. Okay. So his brain's brain cells, I don't know.
Brain cells are not developed yet.
So
she's 20.
20 female,
So-
boyfriend 24. Okay.
And this is her first relationship. So she's 100% getting manipulated, and she's just like, she's recognizing that this is wrong,
Yeah.
but at the same time she's questioning herself.
right, because he also like
'Cause he's
gaslighted. Yeah, exactly.
I just 100%, you're not the red flag, he's the red flag. And just like what I was saying before, the fact that he's doing things out of spite,
Yeah.
and all you're doing is vocalizing that it's making you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. I think just the act of him, like he's in a relationship, and I don't know, I find it very like pervy, like going on other women's profiles, liking other people's pictures that you were in a relationship, whether it was intimate or whatever. That's, yeah, like why?
Yeah,
I don't need to see that.
I'm the type of person that, like, if you're liking influencer pictures, like, I'm like, okay, fine. Like, why? But
yeah.
fine. Like, I'm not bothered by it.
Right.
But if you've hooked up with these people before and you're
Exactly.
liking their provocative and suggestive pictures,
Exactly.
like, that's weird.
You know why too? I feel like it's the reason it's weird because in social media world and how we are today, when we're interested in someone or shooting our shot, sometimes what we're gonna do is
100%.
like the pics to give that hint. You know, even if that's not the way you think, that's what commonly, like
interpreted
common
as.
knowledge, that's how we interpret it. So if you've had something with someone and then you're liking their pics, and that's what we associate liking. You know, I know it's like weird to make those assumptions about everybody, but that's common, like a common theory. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you're doing that, you're literally telling me that like you might still be, you know, into them, or
And
you find them
especially
attractive.
for people that, like, find this, like, uncomfortable and you're doing it frequently, and it's
Exactly.
kind of like they're gonna start overthinking because they're gonna be like, am I not enough that you have to
Exactly.
go out and like seek other people's pictures to like
Yeah.
satisfy you? Like, it's no.
Yeah, exactly. And also not even just like the people they know, but random, like,
Yeah.
you know, the ass, the fitness. That's weird because I know people do that. But to me, it's like, I'm sorry, I would not want my partner. I'm
Yeah,
not
and that's
sorry for that.
perfectly
I would,
fine,
yeah,
yeah.
I would not want my partner. Just that's
Exactly.
just no. I'm sorry, no.
And the fact that he also said like his ex reacted the same way, asked him to unfollow and he wouldn't, and like
What's the point
kinda,
of
like,
bringing that
bragging
up?
about
Yeah,
it?
like okay,
bro,
yeah. Was she trying to gain control? Like,
no, you're not being controlling. You're not being crazy or insane. Like, this
Yeah.
is perfectly normal behavior on your end. He's the one that's psycho right now.
you need to drop him.
Yeah, 100%. No.
Yeah. He
Break
needs
up.
therapy.
Break up.
No, yeah.
You got to be
Find
single in
someone
your
else.
20s, okay?
Yes,
go listen
go
to
watch our
episode.
latest episode. Exactly.
All
Oh my
right.
god. Okay, on to the next. Bye. Okay, y'all ready? Let's get it.
Y'all
Okay.
ready for
Y'all
this?
ready? Okay, so second story, it's called Wish to Protect DH from his narcissistic mother, but he loves her dearly. I worry I am the red flag instead. DH, is that the nickname, or is that does it stand for something on Reddit? Can someone inform me? No, I think it's just a like a right, like a name, like a nickname. So DH and I have been together for about 4 years now and love each other very, very much. Before we got married, I know DH loves his mother a lot. He often tells me many good things about his mother and how much of his upbringing and strong moral ethics today is due to her good parenting. After marriage, I get to interact with his family on a much closer basis and slowly realize that DH's mom is far, far from the amazing woman DH has described, and that in fact she is just no mother-in-law or just no mom. What the heck is that? GNMLI?
These Reddit terms. What is this? We need someone to explain this in the
Yeah,
comments.
okay. So mother-in-law, right? Yeah. Okay, anyways. So it says GNMIL is the textbook narcissist mother. Okay, so that's like her name, I guess. Like the mother's name. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The mother-in-law.
No, but it stands for just no mother-in-law.
Oh, just no mother-in-law.
But I don't know what just no is.
It's
just
a category on Reddit. Like there's a category of like mother things. Like
No,
just
but
no
am I
mom.
the just no?
Oh, I think that's like am I the red flag type of thing. No?
So just no MIL, new meaning to having just no in-laws. When someone is the just no, they're the one behaving badly.
Yeah, so it's like, am I the red flag?
Okay.
Yeah. It's we. I know, Reddit. I love us discovering these terms.
Seriously.
Okay. So, just no mother-in-law is a textbook narcissist mother who treats her own son like shit. There are too many examples of her narcissistic behavior, but generally, she constantly puts down DH's achievements and success and very rarely praises him. She favors another child of hers as the golden child, but scapegoats DH as a devil spawn from an evil, abusive side of her bloodline. Brackets, yes, she said this directly to DH and me. She keeps dredging up naughty deeds DH did as a child under 5 years old and repeating such stories whenever she has a chance as if he never grew up from those mistakes. She never apologizes to DH for any of her wrongdoing. The above do not reflect the successful and kind-hearted great person DH is. You would think I'm the one who is blindsided by DH's nefarious side if you had only heard about him from Just No Mother-in-Law. When I talk to DH about my observations, DH agrees with everything. Yet, he is way too filial. All these words I don't know. He is way too filial, has way too much love for the family, and feels way too much guilt to cut ties. I could in a way understand how he feels because as much as Just No Mother-in-Law is a narcissist, I cannot deny her success in single-handedly raising her kids. Brackets, father left before kids could even walk. Which she did with much sacrifice because he was raised in a single parent family. DH sees Just No Mother-in-law as a childhood hero and remembers some moments of tender love in childhood. However, Just No Mother-in-law also keeps guilt-tripping DH with the fact that she had, instead of focusing on her own wants and desires as a single mom, sacrificed so much of herself in order to be a good mother who was always present in her kids' lives. She is also always guilt-tripping her kids about her ailments today because of how much she had overworked for them as a single mother. That she saved them from an abusive family and so had no choice but to be a single mother. But Just No Mother-in-law's desires to have kids comes from an insanely strong cultic Northwest religious belief that having kids is the greatest personal success in a woman's life. Brackets, isn't this also narcissistic in a twisted way? She would always push childbearing on anyone dating her kids. Okay, whoa. Just No Mother-in-law is also always seeking for empathy for her difficult childhood, for her continued sad life of being in abusive relationships one after another, and for being treated badly by people around her. That in turn makes me feel so selfish to not fucking care, to not love her, to not understand why she grew up to be this messed up, to not be forgiving towards her. To be very honest, I think some of these failed relationships she had brought it upon herself with her Karen-like hot-headed temper. Oh, I get that this is victim blaming, but I know how antagonistic she gets in both her attitude and words towards others, but we will only ever hear about her being a victim of abuse or of hate from others. I feel so bad for being one of those hating her too, but not really too. God, I'm confused.
I don't like your writing style. I'm sorry.
Like the way they're typing?
Yeah, I'm like,
I know,
what are you
it's
saying?
interesting.
Like,
It's a bit less organized, but okay, whoa, okay. When it comes to her blatant favoritism, Just No Mother-in-law would shower golden child with really nice stuff. Brackets, expensive, branded, stylish, functional, etc. And at every family meetup, she would never fail to say how great, capable, good-looking, etc. How golden child is such a great catch, etc. She even openly admitted that golden child is the golden child. Whereas she would be putting down DH for everything he did as a kid and does as an adult now. Brackets, mostly because of difference in political views. She would also get DH gifts half-heartedly, things that are cheap, way less stylish, not useful, or not suitable to his liking at all. Sometimes she even gifts used items. Brackets, very obviously used because of wear and tear and because I've seen those items lying around her house before. It's as if she has a great taste when it comes to gifts for golden child and suddenly has terrible taste when it comes to gifts for DH. To top it off, at every birthday Mother's Day, Christmas, etc., she would still have the cheek to shamelessly ask DH to give her specific expensive gifts when she doesn't even reciprocate a good gifting etiquette. Although this
a long
one's
one.
a long one. Although DH sees the blatant favoritism that Just No Mother-in-Law exhibits towards Golden Child, DH still defends her by saying that since he was a child, she has always made sure to let her kids know that she loves them all equally. The manipulation is so strong that DH still believes that she holds love for him, despite all the humiliating shit she hurls only on him, in front of me and every other family member. I see it as manipulation because I have heard her often justify her questionable actions with, "I'm your mother, and that's what mothers do for their children. I'm just concerned as a mother." Whenever it is pointed out that what she did or say is wrong, there were many times when DH argues against her unfounded criticism/claims. Brackets, DH is not a pushover in any way, but at the end of the day, DH still adores Just No Mother-in-Law. I don't understand this at all. Just No Mother-in-Law also seems to hold very little interest in what DH does. Everything Just No Mother-in-Law talks about is always about her interests, her day, her past, her opinions, her.
This girl's so upset.
I know.
Oh my God. She's like spilling her whole
Everything,
heart right now.
yeah. When DH tries to talk about his work, etc., she would change the subject or act distracted. She would only engage in the conversation if he does something that she is politically opposed to and would lambast him for being a tool for evil. Whoa. I take it too personally, even seeing all these attacks on DH as an attack on my own self. I can't see it as just a problem that DH has to deal with alone. I cannot force DH to pick me/our family or his mother. This would just be as terrible, and I do not wish to even be such a person who foists upon my beloved such a heartbreaking decision. Okay. I have to take in all these shit just as he is willing to take in all these shit despite knowing that everything is shitty and wrong. I can't be as forgiving as my partner because I don't share this love for the shitty narc mom that DH for some reason still has. I'm so confused. Is my Just No Mother-in-Law narcissistic, or am I the red flag for sullying her image in DH's eyes? Is it wrong/evil of me to harbor this much hate/disgust for the mother? If so, how can I deal with this hatred/disgust that I have for her? How do I move past it? How do I find happiness while having ties with a narcissist? If there is nothing wrong with me, is the situation that bad to require cutting of ties? If the situation warrants cutting of ties, are there any non-manipulative ways to help my partner understand this? Leaving DH because of narcissistic just mother-in-law is not a solution for various reasons other than having kids together, but I really don't know what else to do with Just No Mother-in-Law. Thanks for reading my word vomit if you made it in this far.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
You
I
need
think,
to go first.
yeah. First of all, I think there was a line in there where she's like, I'm not going to make him choose between me/our family and our mother. First of all, he should be choosing your family because that's his family now. Yeah. And like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, obviously, even if you love your mother, like if you have a whole ass part, like, what's it called? Spouse.
Yeah.
And kids, that's your priority, not your mother. Like, I'm sorry.
I feel like it's hard though.
It is hard.
Yeah.
But especially if your mom is being a bitch towards you and you recognize that, but you're still trying to love her. Like, no, you should be protecting your family.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I'm I'm not saying the mother is like health. Like, obviously she's toxic. I just feel like it'd be hard. Like, even me picturing myself, even if like my parents did things like I'm so attached to them, you know what I mean? Like, when you're so attached,
100%.
but when I feel like you need to make that hard decision when you have that whole family of yours. It's not like it's your only family, you know, you literally have your own.
Yeah. And it's like, if your mom is doing something wrong, you need to tell her that she's doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, he's just letting everything slide.
I feel like because the mom beat him down like all the time, he became in a way insecure. Like, it was a manipulation that he was almost like codependent on her because that's where he gets his, like, he's still trying to prove like he needs validation, but she probably gives him like some validation sometimes, or he feels like he needs to prove that he's not whatever she thinks she is, or also like the love of like the siblings, because the golden child or whatever. So almost feeling like a competition. So he can't fully let go because he wants the satisfaction of like knowing that his mom is proud of him, you know?
100%. I do think this man needs therapy, because I think that's the only reason that that's the only way he's gonna realize how fucked up his mom is being, because this is super intense. And it's tricky if you're the partner trying to point it out, because at that point, like, tension's gonna build, and it's like, oh, but this is my mom, you know, like, can't just drop her type of thing. And that's where like arguments are gonna start and everything. But I don't think the person that wrote this is the red flag at all.
Yeah.
I think you're recognizing this behavior, and I think if you're word vomiting this much, I think it's come to a point where it's like you don't even know what to do about it, because all you're hearing is how much the mother-in-law is like berating your partner.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
So it seems as though it's rooting from the fact that their political / maybe religious views are different, and that the mom went through a lot of abusive relationships. So she probably has resentment towards her children, because she keeps saying like, I couldn't do this because I sacrificed all of this for you. So it's like, okay, so basically didn't want
therapy too.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure. I don't think the partner mentioned, but the mother-in-law didn't really, like, she didn't mention that she would attack her, the partner, right?
No. I don't think so. I think it's more she put her son down.
Yeah.
And she only spoke about herself. So she was very like narcissistic, like talking about my stuff. I don't care about your accomplishments, even though you're my child, basically.
There's definitely resentment there. Like, and also like almost seeing your child get the love that you didn't get in your romantic partner.
100%.
You know, like imagine, and then you have to rate, like it's, oh, I put you into this world and you get all of these gifts and like love from people. What do I get? Which is messed up. As a mom, you shouldn't be, you know, she wasn't in the right headspace to have children at that time.
Yeah.
And
I'm just confused how one of them is the golden child, though. Like, why?
Why do you have resentment towards one and not the other? Right? Maybe the other one's like single.
I don't know.
Like,
and like, is the golden child the younger child?
Yeah, we need more info on this. Can you like?
Yeah.
I feel like we need more info about who is this golden child. What do they do? Why are they known to be golden in the mother's eyes?
Yeah.
Maybe they're like always with the mom or something, like, you know?
I don't know. I think like the healthy thing to do is like kind of create space between the mother and the son. But I know that's hard, especially if like the son is still very attached to the mother.
They seems like they're always in each other's lives, right? So,
but if like this is the way my mother-in-law was reacting, I wouldn't even like, my children would never.
Hell
would
no.
never. I mean, like, you can go hang out with your mom. We're gonna stay here. Like, I don't need to, like, even this girl, she's like,
if I was a partner, I'd just stay away, because I don't have to deal with
like
them.
You don't need to show up to these events.
Exactly.
If, like, she's
after a
your
certain
family
time,
like
when
shit.
you realize like, oh, the mom's like this.
Like, you don't owe her anything.
Yeah.
Especially if she's being so rude to your whole family and like your partner. Like, let him realize it.
Yeah. I think she's trying to be supportive to her partner.
100%.
That's the thing.
But there's only there's a certain amount until like I feel like you're at your breaking point.
It seems like you were by their side each time. So that's why. No,
it's really rough.
And I wouldn't want my kids to be influenced by like that type of thinking, like, that's or why like religious and political. Like, I don't want someone else
to manipulate it.
Yeah, I think definitely distance yourself and just separate yourself from the mom at this point, because you can't really control your partner. 100%. And if maybe once your partner starts realizing you're not, maybe the reason he puts up with it or can actually cope with it is because you're there each time. Maybe once you stop showing up and he has to kind of in the moment deal with it alone, he's gonna be like, oh, I can't.
Exactly.
And maybe that'll,
I think he just needs to realize it on his own.
Yeah.
You said what you needed to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if the golden child and the brother, like, they're close or no. They didn't really mention. Interesting.
Yeah, sorry you have to deal with this.
Yeah, hope it works out.
Yeah. All right, last story. This one's a short one. So the title is, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Stepkids to Stop Hanging Off Their Mom? All right.
Sorry, the hanging off their mom.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I will be the first to admit that I grew up in a very, quotes, hands-off type of family. There was no hugging, snuggling, or anything of the sort. So when I met my wife and saw her 3 kids love on her so much, it did make me incredibly uncomfortable. But that was a me issue, and I just checked myself into therapy and worked through it. Oh, I'm sorry, the way that it's like, ugh, I was uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna go to therapy. I'll be back. Like, that's what it sounded like.
I checked myself in.
Yeah. Now the kids are like this with me, and sometimes it's still hard, but it doesn't make me nearly as uncomfortable as it did. However, my wife is fully aware of this because through therapy, I was taught ways to communicate these things to her. So I never asked the kids to stop and never tried forcing my opinions, but I did communicate why I became so weird about it. So she knows. Anyways, fast forward to now, my stepkids are currently 13, 11, and 7. All of them are still very much so snuggly kids and easily wrap my wife up on the couch 4 times a day. The only issue I currently have is that my wife is currently pregnant. High risk. They have her on bed rest and she's only 16 weeks. Oh my God. I feel so sorry for her.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's rough, yeah.
I simply do not like how rough these kids seem to be with her. Though they might not actually be super rough, but it seems like it to me, and I'm worried about my wife and my unborn child. Like my 7-year-old stepson will still lay on his mother's chest, in brackets. Granted, he is also a small kid and has some ailments, ASD and ODD. I don't want him laying on his mother's chest, or the 2 older ones will lay beside her, but like half on her. I don't want them doing this either because their legs / half of their torso is on top of their mother's stomach. And again, she's high risk. I don't want them unintentionally hurting her. So whenever I see it now, I either tell them to stop or constantly remind them to be careful with their mother's stomach. My wife flipped yesterday. She never snaps, but she absolutely did this time and told me quite bluntly to shut my fucking mouth. Because if my attitude makes it so her kids stop snuggling her, she will never forgive me. Insists she's fine, and if she wasn't, she would say something. It's been tense here. Am I the asshole?
Okay. Oh, that's like, it was short, but a lot happened.
Yeah, I think that's the hormones of her screaming at her. I don't think like...
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, yeah, I get it also because it's annoying maybe. Like,
yeah, 100%. If you're like constantly like berating them.
I feel like this is a lot. Like in that short paragraph, I feel like I got more info than that 100%. Long ass thing.
We love these concise stories.
Yeah, great. Whoa. I don't think you're the asshole. I think you grew up a certain way, like the affection, the love. So to you, like, I get why it was a bit uncomfortable to see because you're not used to that type of love and like, you know, and you like imagine your parents love you a certain way and then you see something different. You're like, what the heck? Like, I feel like I was living in a, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't match up with what you grew up with. And I think I've
experienced this too when I see like how people interact with their parents. Sometimes
you're
like,
ew, why are you doing that? Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's just different. So that I totally get. And then the fact that you went to therapy and like really tried to unlearn that type of parenting love, you know, and get used to a different, or just open up your mind. I feel like that's really good and you improved clearly. And about your, you know, your unborn child, your wife being pregnant and them being like, and she's high risk. I get that because I don't know everything about pregnancy, but like maybe putting the leg on the stomach is not necessarily gonna like do something. But what if you're worried, you move or like something and she's high risk, so you want to be, it's like you're holding a baby so in your stomach, so it is a bit like, you know, scary. So I feel like it's hard because the wife kind of is getting annoyed because she doesn't want her kids to not give her love either.
I think because the hormones are in play, and because it seems like you're consistently telling them to stop, like it can get annoying, obviously. And I think she's also in the back of her mind thinking about when you told her, like, I find it weird that your kids cuddle. Like she probably has a little bit of resentment there, which she possibly didn't communicate to you.
Exactly.
And that's probably why she like blew up about it and was like, stop telling my kids not to like hug me and cuddle me.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe talk to the kids like without the wife. I don't, maybe
they're
they could
young,
tell her
though,
like, 1 is 7,
yeah.
But maybe in a, not in a like whole sit down talk, but like be like, oh, like this is the reason why I tell you this. Oh, he said like not to hurt her, but maybe he needs to be more like formal about it in a way.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, I either tell them to stop or constantly remind them to be careful with their mother's stomach.
Right, but I feel like just saying stop, they're not gonna understand. It needs to be like, look, your mom, because they don't understand pregnancy. Like, look, your mom has, you know, a more intense pregnancy, so that means that it's like really like, you know, explain it to them like as children.
Exactly.
You know,
and I think it's trickier because you're the stepfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they might be like, you're weird.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how long you've been in their lives type
Yeah.
of thing. And maybe they're kind of like, this is my mom. Like, why are you telling me to
Exactly.
stop type of thing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the information that we're missing, I think.
And maybe the kids notice that he gets weird when
Exactly,
they're
and they're
snuggling.
like-
so they're like, this guy,
Like,
he's
what's
just
up with
jealous.
you?
Like,
literally,
yeah.
It's like, this is my mom.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, it's tricky. I think if you just stay calm about it, like consistently just explain yourself and like explain how you're feeling about certain things, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just don't be reactive to when she's reacting, because
Yeah.
she's gonna react a lot.
Exactly.
Because she's
Maybe-
preggers.
Yeah. Maybe if the mom explained it in a way to her kids, but in a like super loving way, like not like don't cuddle me, but just like
But
the
she doesn't want that.
situation.
That's the thing. She's like, I want them to
Yeah.
still show me this affection.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like not saying like, oh, don't do this, but more explaining her pregnancy situation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they know. I'm assuming they know, like, oh, she's pregnant, but just
She's
more
on bed
like,
rest.
yeah, like,
She's also
you
only
know?
16 weeks, so maybe if she keeps going, she gets
Growing,
like
yeah.
growing and gets
tough,
bigger,
man.
she might like feel differently, and she's
Yeah.
like, get away from me, please.
yeah, exactly.
Because at that point, she's gonna be like, huge stomach. She's already on bed rest. You know what I mean? So
Taking it slowly and maybe
Exactly.
try to, the thing is, if you keep your mouth shut, but then something goes,
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's
exactly.
what's tough. But then your wife is screaming at you. I think let the wife scream at you. If
Yeah,
you have
just let
to.
it happen.
Like, if you have to, I think it's better to vocalize, but still be respectful a bit
100%.
about it, because maybe some of your uncomfort is like coinciding with you saying, like, you're using that
that's-
as a reason
I
to
think that's also what she's thinking. That's
Yeah.
probably why she reacted that way.
Exactly. And maybe you're like, oh, I'm using the pregnancy, but maybe it's also because you feel that uncomfort.
Yeah.
So it's like allowing you to vocalize yourself, but you might be doing it for two reasons and not just the pregnancy.
Like, are you
one.
still in therapy, or was that just at the beginning? Like,
Right.
maybe you should go back and talk about this and
Yeah.
see if it's a you thing, or if it's really like them just not understanding you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was it.
Damn. This is a long episode, guys.
Okay, everybody, that's the end of the episode. We hope you enjoyed these Reddit stories. Very specific category. Am I the red flag? Let us know what you think. Leave us feedback, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And you could follow us on all our podcast socials. They'll be linked down below, and our personal socials as well.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We didn't say anything. Bye. This is audio. Sorry.
Bye.